Let's start with this session. First, I would like to thank you for attending my session, Effective Java SE 9 through 17, because I will mention some stuff about Java 17, the new baby for Java family that get just born from like this last month. And also I'm going to mention some features, which is hidden features, not just direct mentioned in all the articles or sessions that really I used through my day-to-day job. And it makes my life much easier. And it will be, I will also mention each feature GDK release, so you will know on which feature that you can use is applicable for which GDK. So thank you for attending. I'm very, very happy to join JCON to give this session. And I supposed to have a session tomorrow, but unfortunately it doesn't work. But I hope to engage it for the next year. So my name is Mohamed Taman, and I'm based in Belgrade, Serbia, but now I am in my vacation because of my sister's wedding. So I'm in Egypt, back to my home. So I'm delivering this session from Egypt to you, and Egypt says hi to everyone. Quick intro, let me see, now it's working with this. So if you'd like to have any connection with me, as I told you, I'm working as a chief solution architect for E4Tel. Fortel is a telecommunication company, and I have also my own company that I use for training and consultation. So as I told you, I'm Egyptian living in Belgrade, Serbia. So I'm around in Europe mainly. So I'm Java champion and Oracle Groundbreaker ambassador, and also Jakarta EE ambassadors. So, those are my main focus of the industry, and all my work, proof of concepts, anything related to my articles, because I'm writing for Java Magazine, Oracle, InfoQ, IBM Developer, and those are my latest publications. So all the codes and everything is under my GitHub. And definitely you can catch me over all of this, or easily search my name on Google and you will find everything. You are welcome for any question after this presentation or about anything else. Just post me on LinkedIn or on my GitHub or any channel, or follow me at Twitter. Indeed. Let's start. And I would like just to mention that let me take all the questions, because I would like to give you the session first, and I will handle all the questions at the end. So I'm not going to answer right now, and I will look into the chat to catch all the questions at the end. So we know I'm not going to go into deep discussion about Java history. We know that we were like so slow before releasing Java, and since Java 6 and 7, you can just from this like small snippet, you see how the difference between each release, how many years we take, like 3 years, 4 years, 2 years and a half, but at least this, which nowadays it will not work really fast. And with the new era and the cloud computing and the new technology demands. So we decided, starting from Java 9, to try the release cadence of 6 months. And now it was successful, and we have some problems because catching up was like, you are too slow and then becomes so fast. So there is always like middle ground here, but people just take time to adapt. And Java 8 was one of the most successful GDK ever have been used until now even, but unfortunately start to go into legacy state. Because starting from Java 17, which is the second LTS after Java 11, you have to migrate because there is no support anymore for Java 8, and you know, it's this story. So now I would like just to talk about some, like, what is the biggest and the most effective features, changes happening. And we know about modularity, but not everyone, because I have a lot of questions about this, and I would like just to give it to you. You know that first class citizen was for Java is package, and then it was like, okay, it's nice for organization, but not that strong for security and everything. And we tried to do security by access modifiers, trying to break the modules, but into packages, and we tried a lot of stuff, but it wasn't real encapsulation or real security hidden. This is why a lot of people and tools start to rely on internal API inside the GDK, internal API, which is not intentionally meant to be used by public users, but you cannot hide it. This is the main problem. Then we cannot move forward as well with the GDK. So it was a big problem to take the decision. No, we would like to break it, but we took this decision on time, and we start changing this until Java 17. Actually, no, we start to hide the internal API from outside usage. This make us go faster and release faster, and also give you a smoother and clean API to use, and for us freedom to move fast and make a lot of enhancement inside the JVM area especially. So, you know, since project JIGSAW, which is modularity, is one of the biggest challenges that we don't want to have a multiple GDK for Java ME, for Java EE, for GDK. So now you just only have one GDK that you can scale it down and scale down your runtime to work either on IoT devices, microservices. Definitely, this is one of the main targets on the cloud, and embedded systems and cloud. So Java now, starting from Java 16, it becomes like cloud agnostic. It's now you can develop easily, and you can customize your jar, even native with GraalVM, as we are going to discuss. We have now also introduced stronger in modules. Public is no longer public anymore to other, unless you specify that you would like to expose this class or package to outside, even if it's declared as a public inside your module. So this is stronger, you know, encapsulation, stronger hiding, but it's public. Yeah, I need it for internal access from different packages, but if I leave it access this way, anyone, because it's public, anyone can use it. So this becomes more secure, and encapsulation definitely give us opportunity to have the freedom. By the way, all of those blue things are links to one of the article I wrote about, like you can deep dive into this subject, and how to migrate, what is modularity, how to write a program, what all the aspects about this. So I will not mention it. Just when you see it, you know, this is a full article explain about all these kind of small features, or in a big time. JIGSAW project, you know, it's a way of modularizing GDK first. When we succeed to modularize GDK, make also modularization for Java source code. It's not only single zip file that have everything, that then when you would like to just using 2 packages or something, very small project, you have to have all these sizes. No, I need just to scale it down. I need some packages. Like, why are you giving me all this source code, which I don't use? I'm using Swing and GDBC. What about XML? What about the others? No, I don't want it. Now we can do this. And definitely we would like, based on this slicing, it allow us to customize and modularize our images at runtime, because we just take what we want. This is definitely reduce the size of the Java runtime and the packaging. So instead of having one small project that actually say hello world, you have to have the full GDK or GRE, which is 100 something megabyte. Like, and nowadays in deployment, it doesn't work well. You know, we need smaller sizes. And now with Project JIGSAW, with a tool called JLink, I'm going to talk about it now. It's very easy, you know, to customize it down, and you have your project with all you need at the runtime environment customized, which could be like 16 megabyte or something like this. Can you imagine the difference in size, faster deployment, and also faster packaging? And this also leads that we, as I told you, like encapsulate Java internal API for more freedom. And lastly is the way that definitely Java platform module system, this is intended for developers, us, how to modularize our application. So we have to do the first like 3 goals, and this was the goal, and it's successful. Now you can do whatever it is. By the way, before I move on, I would like, there is a lot of question like, okay, I cannot migrate to Java 8, Java 9 or 10 because I have to use modularization. No, it's optional. As you can see, you can still use normal Java packaging and everything because your application doesn't need this requirement. But for tooling and bigger software project, because we used OSGI before, now Java now At JDK level, it supports modularization. So it's not for everyone. Same like microservices is not for everyone. Like you have to study your requirement, and then you came up with the design that suits your requirement. It's like, it's not silver bullet, definitely. This is why it's still optional until now in Java. You normally work on class pass, no problem. And when you work with modularity, you work on module pass, which is different concept. So go to these articles and you will find a lot of information about this. So now if I would like to migrate, what to do? It's very helpful because now I start to work in my company. We have a new project. We have JDK 8 for all the project, but we starting as a green project. Yeah, I started the Java 17 direct. I advised my team, we will work with Java 17. And okay, what about the old tools? And no, we have tools too. And we have another brownfield project, which is already running, but we would like to migrate it as well for the support and the latest features that we would like, not just the language feature, is the GVM enhancement. And you will see how much faster we can gain projects or applications running just by migrating without any tweaking. So the tools here we can list our modules that needed by our application like this. And we can say like, okay, do my application relies on internal JDK, please? If it is, let me know, because it's going to be, you know, like enclosed. We cannot use it. Access will be denied for us because Java 17 do this. And also you can use GDIPs to see the dependencies. And also you can see which API, methods, classes, packages, whatever it is, deprecated. So, and also give you opportunity to say like, okay, now I know what is deprecate APIs, and also give you sometimes hint what is the new tools that you can use inside JDK as a replacement. This is very important. So these tools is very important when it comes to migration. You can run it, but also I advise you, if you'd like to have a smoother running, just take your application, run it on JDK 11 if you have it, or 12, doesn't matter. Then you start migrating this. Don't just hate yourself to Java 17 unless you don't use anything. Or you can have the big bang change migration. There is an article about this, so I encourage you to read about it. Let's see, what does it mean about release cadence? Most of you know about this. We are releasing Java twice a year, at March and at at September. Excuse me for my my throat, it just hurt. And the LTS, yes, every time it allows us to faster releases, and also we can catch up with the new technology and giving you opportunity to review all what we need to do, and I will show you this, and also give the feedback, and it's faster to adopt the feedback and give it to you as a preview features and things like this. Long-term support, this is a small map, but we have a very big change we have made in the release with JDK 17. This like short one, you know that we have OpenJDK and Oracle JDK. We have bunch of other JDKs implementation by many companies nowadays. So each release, it's called feature release when it's not LTS. LTS had 3 years overlapping with the previous release. So you have the opportunity to move from LTS to LTS while there is a support. But for each feature release, like Java 12, Java 13, 14, 15 and 16, it just supported for the 6 months only. After that, there is no support. So you just take the new feature release, which like Java 18 is 6 feature based. It's not long-term support. So it was decided to be after 3 years, we have a new LTS. Now, the new decision after Java 17 was the new announcement, we are going to release LTS every 2 years, not 3 years. So for some people like, oh man, I cannot catch, especially company side with this, like, we know if you start migrating to Java 17, it will be very smooth because you already faced all the breaking changes and everything. From Java 17, it's easy to just migrate because it will be like language features. Most of the API has been cleaned and you adopt to it, and that's it. So this is just give you more opportunity to have the features in production than just feature release because it's very important for companies. And I would like to tell you also, for the first time in history in Java, we start to really clean. So Java SE 11, you can expect there is some APIs does not exist anymore. And we will talk about this. We will see which APIs. And, you know, because Java always background compatible, like only background compatibility, we deprecate, and that's it. So it's the first cleaner actually as a broom for Java jungle. And yeah, it was like debate between license module and Oracle, and oh, it's still, Java is still free. You have a bunch of API like OpenJDK. You have some free version from Azure systems, from Amazon Corrito, from Alibaba, from Microsoft now is just introducing their own JDK. And there is a bunch, so you have your choice, or you can rely on OpenJDK if you'd like. You can take Oracle as well because they have a new license. So there is no licensing just to use Java on your production. So also starting from Java 12, we start to introduce something called preview feature. Most of you know about it. It's just opportunity that I'm not finished. We say, hey guys, we see that this feature, it's very handful. Why? Because we learned over the time that, yeah, the feedback is very important from the community, and it should be faster getting back into the engineering team at Oracle who is working on JDK. Why? Because it gave them the overview how the people would like to have the JDK. Does it suit them? What's your opinion? So it's your own JDK. It's not our JDK. We're just producing something for you. It's very important. And it's, you know, it's like you feel like you are producing this, and it gives us faster feedback. And this is what happened with one of the features that I'm going to show to you now. So this is like introduction and a quick one. And let's say our agenda immediately. So we will see what's new in terms of language feature, and also explore new language feature. Yes, exactly. And also the new improved APIs in terms of classes, methods, and the most important one, not everything, because there is a bunch of things. And let's say also, because we are migrating, we have to know which APIs just deprecated, and to make sure how we can migrate to those. And so let's move on. First, I would like to say there is no more JDK, GRE available. Like, oh man, how do I have to use JDK full package to run my application? Why you have removed GRE? Because my friend, as I told you, starting from Java 11, we don't need any GRE anymore, because we can customize our own application. Using what? Using JLink tool, as I told you here, to generate our custom GRE. This JLink tool is very important, and also with GraalVM, and you can have your normal application, you can customize it, scale it down, Dockerize it, and it will be so small application. It's super. So JLink, just a quick overview, it will be like, it can be used to link a set of modules along with their transitive dependencies to create a custom modular runtime image for you. Runtime image with the Java runtime environment and the JVM, that is just enough for running your application, and all the API just enough to run your application. This is why it comes to scaling down your application. It's not one size, even if it's like your application small. So even now you can use JLink, and it's really nice tool. You can start it from JDK 9. And you know, we also get used, like we have a lot of complaint about people studying Java in universities, and they are like, Java is dead. Java is no more, you know, teachable in universities. Python taking over. Like, each language has its own way to do stuff, but Java is very universal, you know, language, and it's out there in everywhere, in every tool, like even in cars. You know, everything. And now this is why the enhancement continue. Well, this is why Java is one of the longest, and historical is one of the most stable language over like 26 years, or now it's coming to 27 years old, but it's still #1. And to facilitate this, we introduced something that all of you know about is jshell. I loved it. I loved it because it's easy to have a shell. I don't have to have an IDE. I don't have to write a full class. I just would like to experiment and play with the Java new syntax. As an architect, I don't. If I would like to show something to my team or try a new API, how it works, before I deep dive into the big problem, and just to explore, I can use jshell for this point, for these things. And there is the jshell, you can use it for a bunch of other things, like for automating even scripts that you can use in your bot. If you'd like to know more, I wrote an article about this, like 2 parts, so you can see how we can use jshell more and more productive, not just trying out some snippet, but you don't have, you can see you just writing some snippet and it give you quick feedback, and it's like, it's REPL. It's a REPL tool, same like Node.js, same like the interpreter for Python, like other languages. So you have it. So try to use it, and it's very productive. Something else, like let's get back to old days, how we could run Java. This also very nice because we have to have like main class. This is mandatory. The entry point, I just would like to, hey, hello, Java developers, I love you all. And then we have to compile to dot class, and then we should run the dot class with Java. So faster way, we say is like, okay, how we could do it like this, run Java with Java. So I have to compile. We could do it like this. It's starting from Java 11. It's very powerful tool with shebang, and I will explain it to you. Now, if you have written the previous project, which is class file hello world, you can run it like this nowadays on Java 11. Java hello world.java, it will run immediately. So where is the compilation? My friend, compilation is in memory. This is why it has limitations. This limitation I have mentioned in this article. And also it's very, very, very powerful. How it's very powerful. This is the speed up the way that you just would like. It's like you are refreshing you're writing your project in your class and just run it with Java. You don't have to do 2 steps verbose way. It's very fast. And combined with shebang notation, you can have your Java file finally as a script. So you don't have to learn bash or any Unix things to do your normal batching. If you'd like to use Java, you can use it and you can put it on your bin file, call it from your operating system. It will be handled as if it's a normal bash file. How this could be done? Oh, let me show you, man. Or ladies, indeed. Java SE language features, let's explore it and we'll talk. We have var, we know about this now. It's a syntactic trigger to shorten the long declaration. And it's and finally, behind the hood, it just was static compilation, definitely. But it gave you more opportunity and it's very predictive. It get the type from the right-hand side. So you can see I'm writing here, it detects it's a string. And if I would like to get the last name, if I do some methods, on my string, it detects it's normally a string. If you try to assign integer to it, it will complain. The compiler will say, no, I'm string, I'm not, it's type safe as well. So if you'd like to see which type you are, then it will say, hey, I am string. And also see, I'm just using with list, and it detected and it get this filter. I do all of this and wow, you are of this type. So it's very handy. And yeah, I wrote an article about this, about pros and cons and what you can do and what you cannot do. And let's go for Java 11. We have a small enhancement because, in Lambda, you can do this. Like you can give a type or you cannot give a type. It's a short version. It works. But we also can use var. But why? Is var like I can remove it? Why I have to have var? Because I can either add a type or removing the type. Why you have to have a var? Because my friend, if we use annotations, annotation need a type. So this is for shortcut to using a type for a variable when you use Lambda. So we have to use to enhance it to this kind of use cases. Let's move on to something else. This is what I told you. Running Java with Java is more powerful with this one. The first feature, it's very nice for learning, faster running of your application without compilation. This one is super, and I love it. All my black box testing for my environment or automation, I start to do it in Java. I don't have to do it with something else. I don't have to rely on Bash, and I'll have to learn. I didn't say that you have to remove it, but you have the capability at your hand. So imagine that I would like to develop like something like this. I call it directory lister, and I have my main method, and I would like to list the directory I am inside and just print all these kind. It's just explanatory project. But you have to include this in your source code, this notation. It's very important, which is you have this exclamation mark, which is sheet bank, you add Java and the source code that you are running. Dash source 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, whatever it is, based on the features that you are using. And here it is. The second step, it just you save it. Actually, in Java, we used to save the file with a .java file, and it should be the same name as directory lister. In this mode, you don't have to do this. Just name it whatever you want, and without even any extension. It just only make it executable. Yeah, think about it. Why it could happen? Because you need the name and .java for the compiler, you know. But for runtime in memory, you don't need this. It doesn't matter which name. I'm not including you in the class path. It doesn't matter. I don't have this. So the name of the class doesn't make any sense. So this is why you have the freedom to name it without even the extension. So second, you can run it like this, / and the file. Everything will work out of the box. So see, it's very powerful. And then if you would like to do more, all the Java source code and modules are available for you, but you cannot definitely include different classes or libraries because there is no class path here. It just, if you'd like to modularize it, yes, you can create all your classes inside the one source code and interfaces and everything, and you can use it because it will read all your class. The main method should be in the class, the first one as a public, and then that's it. It's only one thing. This is why it's called single file source code. And I love this also package as incubator one. And it's all about introducing a new HTTP2 support, WebSocket, REST API calls, and security-wise, more modular without using URL and all of this like out of the box. It was incubator module since JDK 9. And we did some enhancements in JDK 10 and brought to mainstream and goes to production under a module named java.net.http. So you can understand, if you'd like to see what we are working on JDK as an incubator modules, just go for jdk.incubator and you'll find all the list, like foreign memory API. Now it's incubator module. So it's not, it means that we are incubating. It might be changed and it might be removed, because it's still, if it goes to production, it will take a specific name. And like this one, it was jdk.incubator HTTP client. And when we decided it's okay, it's super, let's put it under java.net.http, and here is the library under production. So you will not get warning or anything when you're using incubator modules. And it's very simple, very neat. You have just only HTTP client, HTTP request and response, and WebSockets, and that's it. Behind the scene, everything is supported. And also it supports HTTP version 1.1 and version 2. So it's very performant. You don't need any more, you know, this is why I told you I'm using it with the feature of shebang and single source file to make all my black box testing, because I have HTTP client. I don't have to rely on external API or library to include it with my application to call. So it's built in my JDK. So it's super nice. So to take an example, how to create like an HTTP request call an API, just you declare a new HTTP client, you say HTTP client. So then the request, hey, I would like to have a new request, and the URI is here, and you have this request. And then you can send sync or async. Here I'm sending async. So you can also have this kind of feature like sending asynchronous or synchronous. So which is super nice. So you have both modes inside even these clients. So super nice, right? I love it. especially it's built in GDK. So what about, here is link for full feature about the security, proxying, HTTPS, everything. What about WebSocket? I have to define my WebSocket listener like this, implementing just only WebSocket.listener. And you have like 4 methods here. And then you create it same way. HTTP client, new WebSocket, you use WS for WebSocket or WSS for Web Secure Socket. And then you give your listener, give the executor definitely, because it's like bidirectional. And then you say like on close, you attach something to be done when you close your stream, and that's it. Super nice. So this is how it's easy. Something that's really one of the features that we enhanced it all over, like starting from GDK 11, yes, 11 and 12 until GDK 17, because it's one of the main part that changing because of pattern matching and enhancement of pattern matching and sealed classes, and all of this is switched. You remember, all of us remember this old statement: if you would like to return something, then we assign to a value, we create like string, and we have this kind of long lengthy, and it's nightmare, my friend, if you forget break. So you will cry, cut your hair, and then find like when you debug, oh my god, I forget one break. Lovely, I'm gonna kill myself now. So to make it easy, because this is like all the style C++ switch statement. So let's be more modern and introduce something much nicer, which is new switch statement starting from Java 12. It was a preview feature. So to enable any preview feature inside your IDE or from jshell or from Maven, you have to include -- enable preview. This is like hint. And we have the error token, so you don't have to provide any more, the break. So if you forget it, it will not fail through. No, it will just, after the error token here, it will assign the value, and that's it. So more enhancement, we did something to be nice. So I don't have to declare a variable to assign it. We can say, hey, switch, return the value from your inside. So switch statement is assignable now. So you can give a value, it will return it back as a variable. So it's much, much smoother. And definitely also we know about multiple commas. Sometimes we have something like this. I would like, in case 0, I would like to handle, okay, the kind equals 0 and break. And in case 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 9, it's odd. And the other numbers, it's even, and do this. Like it's very lengthy and long, like why I have to do all of this. And I have also to include break. It's super nice. I can do it like this in this way. Var kind equal to switch. I give the value. In case 0, that's it. But case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 makes sense. It's more readable. Do this, and that's it. Super nice, right? So there is effective use of new switch statement article. Go through it. So also, this is something happens because the community complained about. We were at Java. Let me just move this here. Java 13, we changed this. Like this is why it's a preview feature. There is a breaking change, So what happens? We were like, okay, if you would like, we can say like, instead of error token, we can use the colon normally and use break. So break the value, but it sounds odd. It's like breaking what? Breaking value. It should be something which has some more sense. So we changed it. We dropped break based on your feedback as a community, not us. And we, we switch it with yield. So it's make more sense, and also it's more, readable. Like, okay, case 0, yield 0, generate some values. It's not breaking like breaking what? Breaking the glass. So, and when we have this, no more complaint, everything, as I told you, this is why community feedback is very important, and the preview feature is great for such changes. So in Java 14, switch expressions is standardized. So you have it at your playground. So super nice, right? I love that. Let's move on to a different feature, text block. This has saved me when I'm writing now in Spring repository or JDBC or any Swagger documentation. Now I can write text of blocks without worrying about indentation and breaking the lines and putting pluses. Let's see a small example. This is a small history how it's introduced, and it's finalized in Java 15. If you'd like to read more, so we always have something like this, like especially if you write like using National Engine, which is deprecated, or Graal VM to have such stuff, like you have to write JavaScript rabbit inside string, and you have new line to print it nicely. Why I have to do all of this effort? It's like it's verbose. So now we can do it like this. It's super nice. And all the indentation is taken care of. You don't have to specify a new line, because whenever you have a breaking line, it will be implicitly added. So it's super nice. I love it. So I encourage you, it will be more readable when you use it with JDBC, like, your native queries or SQL queries or complex one. It's super nice. Pattern matching for instance of this is, yes, we dropped this also, we allowed it, because if sometimes in old days we would like to check about the object if it's
Hello, can you hear me? So it looks like Mohamed has some connection problems, so we just wait a few more seconds, minutes. So now he's back.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. So just to get terminated. So can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So let's continue quickly with this. So yeah, this is which is the instance of, and here. And also more complex, you can have it like this. It's like first statement, if it succeed, it will cast the object into string and put it, assign it to str. And also you can have another checking about if the lens or something. So it's very handy, and you don't have, it's available inside the block scope. So this is dramatically, reduce the overall number of explicit casting in Java programs. And it's very handy in equal methods. And also with sealed classes. Records, all of you heard about record. A lot of people talked about it. It's just reduced all the boilerplate, for value object-based or DTOs or VOs or something like this. Instead of like, we have one class to define with two variables, I have to have constructor for that. I have to have setters and getters, hash code, toString. But imagine if it's growing more and more, you just boilerplate code just for nothing, just to hold the value. Like now, record, you can just declare it like this, and everything else will be taken care of by the compiler. The record is finally, after compilation, it's a final class. And it's this is why it's not it's immutable, it's not mutable. So it's only immutable once you create it. This is why you just, when you declare it like this, it means it will have a constructor that will take X and Y, and that's it. And you can define canonical and compact constructors as well for more checking. So it's very nice. This feature also, I loved it, because it gave me more debugging capabilities about the null pointer exceptions. So in old days, if we have exception like this, you can say like exception thread main, and in your program and number this, like either is A, this is very easy to detect, because yeah, the only nullable value, it might be A, not I indeed. But what about this? You have to deep debug to know either A or B or C is nullable. And now with Java 14, you can switch on this, and the exception will look like this. And that's thread main in Java null pointer exception, because I cannot read field C because A.B is null. It's very handy, it's very nice. sealed classes. This is allow you the principle give you more authorization about your hierarchy, more strict that we try to achieve with access modifiers and package and everything to restrict the implementation. So now sealed classes, it give you this kind of authority out of the box and more stronger. So it allowed the author of the class or interface to control which code is responsible for what and who can implement what and extend what. So it's open closed principle is achieved now in Java, and you know, open for extension, closed for modification. So sealed classes serve this purpose. So we can have a ceremony like this. We can say by providing sealed keyword on the class means it's only permitted to be extended by those classes. If you try to extend it by external class, it will give you compilation error because you only permitted those classes, circle, rectangle, and square, to extend it. That's it. It could be interface, you know. And also then you can say, I have a final class circle that extend shape. It's allowed. Final means it's not allowed anymore for extension. It's only closed for this implementation. And you can say, okay, I would like rectangle to have more implementation. So I sealed rectangle, which extend shape to be permits also only this transparent rectangle and filled rectangle. And only those type of rectangles is going to extend rectangle only. And also you can say, I would like to, you have to say like transparent rectangle. If you don't want like to allow more extension, just final. And if you would like to allow some other people to implement their own square without permission, you have to say non-sealed class square extend shape. And this means it's open for more extension by outside world. It's not restricted. So this is how you can author your hierarchy. Now let's look this, all the features. By the way, sealed classes is finalized in JDK 17. So all the features now starting from JDK 17 is all of them available for you to be used. Some nice API language, string class has a new enhancement. It has repeat. So if you would like to repeat, I don't have to have a for loop. I can say, no, I love Batman movies. So I would like to say, no, Batman. So you can do it like this in single line. It's very easy. You have is blank. Is blank is a shortcut for this statement. If you would like to check about emptiness of the string, so you can do like this. And instead of like blank, trim, length equal to 0, just is blank, give you true or false. It's very nice. We have stripe. And some people like, if you have some string and you would like just to trim it, let's say, but see, if I use trim here, there is still a space. If I use stripe, there is no space. So what happens? What is the difference? You are so smart. If you are using Unicode, so Stripe is Unicode aware because this is a Unicode space. So trim is not. So if you are using ASCII normal, use trim. If you are not, you are Unicode aware, you can use Stripe. And we have lines. Lines is super nice. If you have line like this and you say lines and dot for each, it would be translated immediately like this. It's very nice when you read classes files. Files, text files, and things like this. We have indent. If you'd like to make indentation either by plus or minus, you can do it like this. So it's like 5 minus 2 means 3 indentation. So you will have it like this. It's very nice. We have transform. This is that you can make a lot of transformation in one object, and you can also rearrange the transformation without affecting the original code. Just get this, and only you can do all of this kind of transformation on one object without affecting the code. So it's a very nice one. So text block, as I told you, we have text block, so it has an API. So you can also provide formatting in text block. So we can use like formatted word. I would like to substitute. So you can do this substitution because in the case of queries or JavaScript or something like this, you would like to add some values. And also for stripe indentation, you would like to remove indentation, you can remove it. It's Unicode aware. And also you can translate escape. If you'd like to make for example, equality, this is a new line, and then you say translate escape, it will say true. Why it gives this warning? Because it was deprecated, so it might change. So we have to give you a warning to make sure that you are not using the wrong, and also warn you to not rely on this feature until it becomes production. Compact number profile, it's very easy now to have this kind of formatting based on the locale. 10K, or 1 million, it's just some way of formatting numbers out of the box for you, and it's based on the locale. So for example, it could be formatted like 1K, 1 million in US, or billion in some other countries. So it's totally different. So you have a nice formatting without doing this. So streams, teeing allow you to combine two collectors. So if I would like to have the, this stream, I would like to have what's like a standard deviation for this. So I have to sum and divide by the counting. So you can do it in one call, like teeing. First do this, second do this, then sum and count, just divide it, and that's you have everything in one call. So teeing is very, very powerful instead of having two calls and finally get the results and then dividing. If you are comparing files, especially images or binary files or files in general, you can use the new API file.mismatch. So it will try to compare and it will return -1 if it matched, or it will return the first byte where the differences are. So, and also I would like to mention that we are also implementing and re-implementing all the communication APIs, especially sockets and datagram and everything, in favor of the new features of virtual thread of Project Loom. So there is a huge change. So when Loom comes to production, all the JDK APIs are ready for that. So security enhancements, before using Java 8, 9, and it was like big problem when we are using Docker because it doesn't allow you. When you query the memory, sometimes you get application out of memory exception, like we are providing really good memory into the Docker, but unfortunately it was querying the host. So since Java 10, now Java is able to detect containers. So when you query for the memory, the JVM, it queries not the host, it queries the container. So it knows how, because when it queries and starts, it will take the available space of the host operating system. And in your container, it's limited. So when you try to get more, you are limited inside. So the JVM, like, I have a memory. Oh, you get it from the host, not from the container. But the container is limited, so it's out of exception. Like, and he's still debugging. I know it was big, annoying feature, but now it's detectable. And also you can attach remote debugging inside the Docker process, so you can monitor your applications. Super handy. And it works on Linux and Docker, and now Windows 10. It's available, and you can customize it and control it with this kind of flags. Garbage collector world, we have a lot of enhancement, but one of, especially Java 9 start to use G1 GC, and there is a lot of enhancement. In Java 9, it becomes serial full GC. In Java 10, it becomes parallel full GC, and you can just switch based on this. In Java 11, which this is why I told you, you can get a faster performance application out of the box by just migrating. G1 GC becomes faster by 60% than the normal JDK. So your application is super fast out of the way. You don't need to switch even to some other like GCs and tweaking memory and threads and everything. Like, this is the starting point, guys. So Java 12, there is an improvement because this is the main one. New garbage collections are introduced here to handle a lot of cases. But one of the most interesting one is Epsilon, this first one. Like, what is the main purpose of this? It does nothing. It does not handle any kind of memory. But why it exists? Because JVM cannot run without garbage collector. But the main reason, to be honest, not that just this. Sometimes for embedded systems and IoT, I need to debug and see how much memory is consumed and how I use my application, use the memory without any kind of application handling as a garbage collector. This is why when we need these critical mission applications and to handle our memory ourselves and enhance it, we use this garbage collection. So there is no memory reclamation for you. Then you have to wisely use the API and tweak it until you achieve the performance that you want. So this is the main intention of Epsilon, GC. And all the others, like it was experimental and added by some companies, but starting from GDK 15, there is 2 GCs, JZGC and Shenandoah is our production now. They can use it. Shenandoah is brought for us by Red Hat, and it was like first time ever some other external company provide their new their way of adding garbage collector to the GDK because it was only tied to Oracle. Security improvement, yes. As I told you, we have a new security for data TLS. We start to introduce TLS 1.3, deprecated 1.2 totally. We introduced also Edwards curve digital signature algorithm as described as a way of catching up with the security. So it's super nice. Those all the APIs and features. So now we need to know what we can say to say bye-bye. Lastly, finished, like we have removed a bunch of methods from the thread class because it was deprecated and it's not more applicable. So we have removed it, not just deprecated, removed it. And in file stream and file output stream, we have removed, finalized, and stopped because they are error prone. People continue using it, so we start to remove it. And this class is removed at all. In favor in Java 17 to remove security manager at all. We have removed all the module related to Java EE at that time, which is part of Jakarta EE, which was Corba, transactions, activation, XML binding, XML.WebServices, and XML annotations. They are now removed, all the enterprise APIs, and you can have this all XML, you can download it or you can include it in your application as a separate, libraries in your BOM file.
Hi, Mohamed. Sorry for interrupting you. Unfortunately, we are at the end of our time slot, so please come to an end so we have some time left for some questions. Yes,
okay. I'm just giving you, that JavaFX is not anymore part of GDK starting with JF11. You have to use it like this as a dependency. And there is some other bunch of removed methods in favor of new stuff. There is no JavaScript engine anymore. You can use GraalVM and tools, that Microbench is out there for us to measure the performance of our algorithms, not the application, which is used internally by the GDK. Visual VM is open sourced for us from Oracle, so it's available for use to monitor our applications. And finally, we have Flight Record. It's also open sourced, so it's low-level overhead data collection framework for the GVM. And that's all what I wanted to say about this. And thank you for listening. Let me see some questions because I'm running out of time. So you have 10 minutes to left. Okay, thank you very much. Your time is up, so there is no question. You mentioned WebSockets. There is a possibility to access servlet context from server endpoint.configure and I don't get you, like which WebSockets as a base WebSocket. There is no Java EE related module in GDK anymore. So this is maybe something related to Spring, or I didn't get the question actually. GDK.incubator is only in Open Oracle GDK. I guess I used Adopt Open GDK is just it's a standard. It's a standard to use the Open GDK. The incubator is something like across the GDK. If it's available in Open GDK, it's available on all GDKs because all the others implementers aligning with the streamline of aligning with the stream of Open GDK. And Oracle use Open GDK until the final, and then they have their own release with the support, and Open GDK continue to have the new GDK to like GDK 18 or 19 and continue the stream of the development. So all of the others just take Open GDK and build their own GDK, either for profitable wise or support or just for being open source. That's it. So thank you. I'm very happy that you like it. I can stop sharing my screen. If you have more questions, hey, Adam Payne is here. I'm sorry if I took your time. My friend, you will have a great session from that guy. He is always an amazing person. So I will leave. Do you have any more questions? Okay, it seems not. I will leave the stage for Mr. Adam Payne. Have fun, guys, and I'm very happy to be in JCON. See you next year, I hope, and have fun this great conference. Bye bye, ciao, ciao, salam alaikum.
Thank you, Mohamed. See you later.
Thank you. See you later.